What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Amateur Hour. I've been a little sick lately, a little bored, so I thought I'd make a video on the tools that I've accumulated over the last several years that I used to work on my Yeti. This is the SB140 Lunch Ride. I've had it for 2 years. Absolutely love it. Great bike. Now I live in an apartment, so I keep all my tools in this Milwaukee pack out. I got 2 sets of 3 drawers and then one just big kind of base that I keep extra stuff in. And then on top is where I keep all my small little parts, you know, things like shift cable ends and little small tools. Anyways, let's dive into it and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, let's get into the top section. This is just a Milwaukee pack out, a little organizer where we keep small stuff. We can start over here. Just have small things like tubeless stems, cable ends. Although this actually goes over here. We've got cable housing and miscellaneous stuff. Pedros, tire levers, 2 of them, because those are the greatest. Shout out to Pedros. In the center section here, we've got lube tube, grease syringes, some ski scrapers for wax, some other miscellaneous stuff. Coming back up here, we've got some headset stuff, UDH, dropper, lever mounts. We got our SRAM B gap adjustment tool, that's a must-have. We got some shims when you take the brake pads or the calipers out of the brakes. Always good to have a pair of those around. Extra set of grips. And then we got some random jockey wheels, as well as some chain links and quick links that you're not supposed to reuse, but I do anyways. That's pretty much it for the top. Yeah. Feel free to comment if I miss anything that you want to hear about. I think that pretty much covers it. And these are just some dividers for the pack out. You can divide these sections into these larger sections into even smaller ones, and they're removable, so you can take them and set them wherever you might need. So, yep, that's the top section. And now I'll move on to the top drawer. All right, now we're on to the top drawer. First, I've got the Park Tool breaker bar in 3/8. Random extension. I think it's just in here because I don't know where else to put it. Pretty obvious. As you can see, we have all of our Park Tool basic wrench set, ratcheting. Nice. I don't use these a lot. But we've got 17 through 6mm. Coming over here. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Back over here, we have a set of Wera metric sockets. Looks like we go from 10 to 17. I just keep them over here on the side. Fits well. Then we have, what is this? This is an 8, so I use this to take off the SRAM cranks, the dub. It's just a Tecton. Yeah, most of my stuff is SRAM, so some of these tools are pretty specific to SRAM. We got another adapter here. I believe this is a Park Tool 26 inch. Takes off the damper side of a Fox fork. I think it's on the grip too. Is it 26? I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. This is just a 1/4 to 3/8, I think. I just keep it in there. We got a cassette tool. We got an Abbey Tools 28. I believe this one takes off the grip 2 damper actually. I can't remember what this one does or what I use it for, honestly. Got some other adapters, 1/2 inch to 3/8, and another one, 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Here's where I keep my chain checking tools. I got one from Pedro's and then the Park Tool one. I can leave some of these part numbers in the description too. We have a set of metric Allen keys to use with the socket. Little snap-on 1/4 ratchet, good for small things. Probably one of my favorites to use. And that pretty much completes this drawer. Oh, and then we have a Feedback Sports valve core remover. And that pretty much sums it up for the top drawer. Let's move on to the second drawer. This is just going to be screwdrivers and picks. Got a Milwaukee pick set. Good for doing seals, that type of stuff. Some random stuff in here. Some various screwdrivers that I've found over the years or collected. Got a Wera Phillips. I rarely use that. Our standard Park Tool screwdriver set. Another Wera Phillips. Over here we have Snap-ons, mini Phillips and flatheads. I think I use these more than anything for random stuff. And then we have a set of long Snap-on picks. These are just some Wera screw holders. Put your screwdriver on, thread your bolt through here, or your screw through here, and then if you're in a spot where you can't hold it, it'll hold it for you. So those are always handy. All right, on to the third drawer. This one's pretty simple. Just some Allen keys. We have 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 2.5. The 6 is normally in here, but I seem to have gotten lazy and misplaced it. These are Unior, I think is how you say it. And I've been pretty happy with them. I actually have the Park Tool set, as you can see. This is the 5mm that I just keep up here for the ball head. It's easy to get into, you know, like the front brake caliper or maybe the seat bolts that hold the saddle on. That's really the only one that I use that I prefer the ball head on. So I just keep it up here. The others are in the bottom. Then I just keep this 3-way, which I think is a 4, a 5, and a 6. I take this if I'm going to travel with the bike. It's just easy to set the bike back up with. I don't have to use a multi-tool, and I can get some leverage if I need it. Into the fourth drawer. This is where obviously I keep my Torx. These are all Wera T-handle Torx, with the exception of the long T25. I actually keep these random I'm not even sure why I have these Park Tool ones. T30. I think I use these for my one wheel, to be honest. These don't really have anything. I don't ever use those on bikes. And then I have the Wera Torx L keys, just in case I need to get in a tighter spot. These are nice to have. You can see they're not as big, or I don't know. They're just nice to have. I use these more than I use anything. I think we have T20. That's a Park Tool one. T15. T10. T8. And we have T6. And then obviously T25, which is by far the most common one I use. All right, on to the fifth drawer, the plier drawer, and random tool drawer. It's got some pliers here, some cobalts. These are probably my favorite set of pliers. These Knipex 8603 180s. They're just so universal. They're smooth on the inside so they don't mar anything up. I love these. These are my favorite. We got a pair of Knipex cutters. I don't know, I use this for random stuff, more cutting open packages than anything. We've got some ride wrap applicator, Park Tool quick link pliers, some other random cobalt, and then Knipex needle nose. These are 2611 200. Good set. These things come in handy all the time. Got the Knipex cable cutters, 95, 61, 190. I use these all the time for cutting shift cable housing, dropper cable housing, and obviously the cables, mostly on my friends' bikes, because the only cable I have on my bike is the dropper. And then that brings us to my favorite tool, the Abbey Hag tool, the hanger alignment gauge. This tool is just so well made. It's almost like a piece of art. It's just works very well, very expensive, especially if you're not like a professional mechanic or something. But I thought it was worth the price. Anytime there's a shifting problem, it's easy to bust this out and throw it on the hanger. That's if you're using a hanger and not running transmission or something. I don't know, I think it's worth it to have. So this is probably one of my favorite tools. All right, that completes the fifth drawer. And now we're on to what I call miscellaneous. Probably my favorite tool out of here is the Wera 2.5 to 25 Newton meters torque wrench. This thing works great. It's very accurate. I use this thing all the time. What else do we got? We got, oh, these go up here. We got a SRAM bleed kit, spare shift cables or dropper cable, some markers, Wera hammer, some random Park Tool Allen keys. This is just the big one. I don't really ever use that one. We got the Yeti Switch Infinity grease because I'm riding a Yeti SB140 lunch ride. So that's always good to have around. This is expensive, but it's worth it. This is pretty good quality, and you need this needle tip to get into the Switch Infinity. The other ones just don't work very well. This is by far the best one to use. We got a SRAM brake tool for applying I forget what it's called, the nut into the brake cable housing or brake line. Got some slick oleum, some carbon paste. It's always good to have around. Got some other random crank pullers for old stuff. I don't ever use this. I think I used it once. Got an extra lube tube syringe. These are the best syringes by far. Like this one. Use this for putting sealant in to the tires through the valve stem. Very worth it. High quality. Let's see, what else do we got? Marker. Can't forget about our chain whip. Makes taking off crank or cassettes easy. Got some Fox. I only have a Fox 36, so I use the Unior 1702 to service the lowers on the Fox 36. It's helpful to have. Vise and some random nipple tool for wheels. We got the Park Tool DT2 to straighten out rotors as needed. And then I've got a random Wera Torx set in here, and these are nice because they don't move around, they snap. All you have to do is turn and pull and they come right off. And I think this set goes from 50 down to a T10. That pretty much sums up most of my toolkit that I keep, that I have as a home bike mechanic. I did forget to talk about this set. This is just a gear wrench, 3/4 Allen set, and I usually keep it in the top drawer. Just lay them in here. And I use these for taking out, this is pretty specific to the Yeti, I use these for taking out the Switch Infinity collet bolts so that I can grease it and clean them. They're kind of, the length makes it helpful. You probably don't need something this long, but they're helpful to have. And that pretty much sums it up. Let me know if you have any questions. And let me know what your thoughts are. Post down in the comments what your favorite tool or set of tools is that you have. Thanks for watching.